Hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal. Maybe we should put a light on here. What do you think? There we go. So much prettier under the right lights, right? This is DearMamaSal, and it is Friday lunchtime, which means it's time for us to start talking about coping with feelings, of which I have many, many this week. And I also noticed that, Jeannie, you've got some interesting stuff as well. So if anybody else has got any dealing with feelings report back, please start typing it in just so that I can know to talk about it. And if I forget to talk about it, please remind me, those of you who are regulars, or anybody else for that matter. It's been a challenging week for me in many ways, but you know, we're here and it's another week gone and all is well. And I say all is well because I'm a great believer in all these challenges are things that are put into our life to, you know, teach us new things and just make sure that we are dealing with things correctly. And you know, it's funny, isn't it? Because as each challenge comes up in my life, I sort of look at it and go, okay, and now what do I need to learn? You know, like didn't I learn enough? I don't know about the rest of you, but I sort of go, didn't I learn enough last week or last year? I still need to learn more, really? Roy T. Bennett said that life is about accepting the challenges along the way, choosing to keep moving forward and savoring the journey. And, you know, I didn't do too much savoring this week. And as you will hear, but I managed to stay fairly calm. I was quite proud of myself. And, you know, it's just like, but no more than maybe Jeannie did or Jody did or anybody else did, because every week we all deal with feelings. And to me, the most important thing is that we all just know it is what it is, time to deal with it. And that is the whole thing. Now, Jeannie's already giving us an example here. She was saying that somewhere along the line this week, their insurance adjuster dropped the ball, didn't let the apartment complex in which she lives know that they had to stay for an extra month. Now, the only reason that's important is because Jeannie is in temporary housing after her house burned a year ago. And she's got like 1 month to go before she's going to move back in. So this 1 month is pretty critical to her, to put it mildly. And she might even need 2 for all we know. And so what she's saying is that that extra month that she needed to stay in the temporary accommodation suddenly fell away. So what was the answer, Jeannie? What was it that you, and by the way, Jeannie said here, I definitely dealt with feelings. We have to vacate on April the 30th due to an unexpected glitch that you've heard about. Got off the hamster wheel, you know, because that's we talk about when you're just going, what, it's not fair, and it's the hamster wheel stuff, right? She said she got off the hamster wheel and, excuse me, and solved the problem. Sal taught me how. 1,000 thanks. Well, I want to tell you what a wonderful way to start a broadcast to hear that. So what was it that you learned that we can share with other people who might be watching this video today? And so, you know, this is just like, it's important for people to understand that dealing with these things, they just need to be dealt with. You know, getting angry about them doesn't fix anything. All right, so Jane is saying York was very angry. Oh, interesting. Both of us were so upset. Of course you were. It wasn't your fault, was it? But did it change anything? Did getting angry change anything? Did getting upset change anything? And the bottom line of these things is what... So what is a POD? A pod. Oh, furniture pod. I mean, like a little mini storage place that you can put stuff in, right? That you can move it for your furnishings. And you're going to return to the Hilton Hotel. Now, Jeannie, that's what I call smart. All right, so hi, Sarah. Sarah's saying, my best friend from high school and college, after we had a falling out and got hold of me for a get-together, my feelings were all over the place. What calmed me down was realizing it's normal. Oh, Sarah, you thought you were so special. You know, that total moment is perfectly normal. You're quite right. I'm so proud of you. You see, once you realize that it's perfectly normal to have feelings, what happens though is we get taught to squash our feelings down, right? Instead of going, yeah, I feel totally insane right now, and that's quite normal. Or can you imagine with Jeannie and York being her husband, like, what do you mean we don't have anywhere to live for the last 3 weeks? But, you know, getting angry about it wasn't going to solve it. And as Jeannie so rightly said, you know, getting it fixed was going to make it better. Do I think the insurance adjuster intentionally did that? No. Do I think that he's very, very embarrassed? Yes. Is it inconvenient? Yes. All those things. But it doesn't change anything. What changes something is to make a plan B. Well done, Jeannie. I am so proud of you as well. And so when you look at it, it is about our mentality. And you're going to hear about some of the challenges I had. Of course. And Jeannie's saying the insurance must pay for the pod due to their error. Of course they must. Plus, they must pay for. I'd be having a lot of very good meals while you're at the Hilton. You know what I mean? It's just like I definitely would, you know, make sure that you get every bit of joy out of that visit. All right. So first of all, I don't know of any birthdays of any viewers this week. So if any of you've got them, it means they're not on our database. So please let me know. Just hold on 1 second. Okay. But I thought I'd let you know that in the world today, it's a very special day. Apparently, it's National Bean Counter Day. It's also National Eggs Benedict Day, for any of you who like that. It's National Healthcare Decisions Day. I have no idea what that is. National Orchid Day. It's also National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day. No, I didn't. Because I didn't remember that. However, I thought this one would be good for anybody who's thinking about the spring cleaning thing, which is it's National Clean Out Your Medicine Cabinet Day. So before you go to bed tonight, how many of you will undertake to do that? Just quickly take everything out of your medicine cabinet, go zoom, 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 zoom with some Windex or antiseptics type spray. What do you call it? Disinfectant spray. I love that word. All over your medicine cabinet, wipe it down quickly, just wipe everything as you put it back. I reckon, what do you reckon? How long would it take? In my case, because I've got a brand new medicine cabinet with very little in it, about 3 seconds. No, actually, probably take me 2 minutes. What about you guys? How long will it take you to take everything out of your medicine cabinet, spritz it down? Remember to make the noise while you do it. And because it makes it better. All right, so Jody's saying that Jody is our admin, and look at that. She's even looked up to find out what the heck that thing was. National Healthcare Decisions Day exists to inspire, educate, and empower the public and providers about the importance of advanced care planning. Oh, it's about our national health care. We need to make decisions about our personal health care. How about that one? So I want to know, Sarah, Are your feelings back under control now? Did you get off the hamster wheel of, or are you still there? You know, a lot of what drives that feeling is fear. I've quoted Dr. Jerry Jampolsky so much that it's probably not even funny anymore. But he wrote this book that changed me in a lot of ways when I read it, called Love is Letting Go of Fear. And what he said, there are basically two emotions in the world, love and fear. And every other emotion we have is a derivative, like a mini step down from one of those two. So if it's a positive feeling, then you obviously are talking about the feelings of love. It's one of the derivatives of love. But if you have any sort of a negative feeling, it's one of the derivatives of fear. And it really helped me because whenever I feel any negative emotion, I go, what am I fearful of? I ask myself, like, okay, Sal, what are you fearful of? I'm not scared of anything. Yes, you are. You must be. You've got a negative emotion going on. Does that make sense to anybody? That if you ask yourself that question, and then I'll think about it and I'll go, yeah, I'm not quite sure I'll be able to cope with that. And is that a fear? Yes, that is a fear. And that's why I had the negative emotion. So think about that. I'm not crying. I have got allergies and I'll live with it. And I'm sure you understand. Mind you, you all probably think I'm crying. Oh, I'll let you know if I am. At this moment, no. So we know that that's what day it is. So if anybody's got a birthday, please let us know because I'm not aware of any. Follow up. I just wanted to give a shout out to Erin. I know she's been having a tough time. Jody has been having a tough time. Jody ended up with an infection and she had all the symptoms of a really bad infection, but the peculiar thing was because of her diabetes, some of the pain of it was being covered up. And so by the time she felt the pain, it was pretty advanced. And so poor Jody is now on antibiotics and trying to cope with that. So Jody, our thoughts and prayers with you. We love you dearly and thank you for being here anyway. You're just incredible. Oh, isn't that lovely? Jeannie is saying, I told my husband that we are leaving the same way we arrived. Decent, calm people. You bet, Jeannie. Decent, calm people. And as you will hear with some of my challenges, I kept thanking my friend Marnie in my head for teaching me be firm, fair, and friendly. Because that is the way. When you've got to deal with something that's wrong, remember to be firm, fair, and friendly. It makes all the difference. Okay, and just before we move on from updating, some of you will have seen that there was a bit of a concern this week about Becca, who was being tested for COVID. Because of some of the symptoms that she had. It came back negative. She did the big test, that came back negative. And then she did the rapid test. It also came back negative. So I thought I'd just update everybody. All right, so here we go. I was pretty surprised. One of the things you will remember that when I had my fire, I've just been back, I've been back a couple of weeks now, probably my third week now. You'd think I'd remember, wouldn't you? April. I came back at the end of March, so yes, we're getting there. 26th of March, or 24th or 26th of March. Okay, so coming up 3 weeks. Anyway, so one of the things you will know that whilst I was moving around from hotels to other accommodation and everything, what I did was I bought myself because I found that my possessions increased each time I moved. So what I did is I bought myself one of these rolling sports bags. You know what I mean? Please notice Canada. And if you're going, why have I got a Canada bag? Because I live in Canada, people. Anyway, so I thought, what am I going to do with these when I get back? because, we're not traveling anymore. And so part of my challenge was, what can I use them for that is practical in my house? And I realized I have the perfect answer. This one contains all my winter clothes. It's going to be my seasonal bag. And you're going, but what if you want it? What if you want to go traveling? I'll empty it, people. Give me that problem. Give me the problem that we are allowed to travel again. And I have reason to use that bag. That if it's that big, I'm going somewhere really nice. Give me that problem. So what do you think? A good idea for seasonal, easy to just roll it into the bottom of my one closet. I can even put it flat, and that's good. Now I've got a second one because, I collected a few things. And the second one I'm going to use for bedding and things like that. I've got extra sheets and so forth. So I was quite surprised that that was useful to me and would keep it all contained. I have extra, in one of these, because they are a lovely size. I'm pretty sure that I can take the air out of another comforter. I can take the air out of a couple of pillows and so forth, and then put the extra sheets and everything else into that bag, and probably have room for others as well. I'll let you know. I'll actually pack it up, and maybe either Sunday or we're not going to do it this afternoon. So I'll on Sunday I'll show you how much I got into one of those. But as you can see, easy to move around the house if I want to, easy to store, waterproof, I'm pretty sure. I guess I could store it under the house, but I'm scared of rodents and things, so that's not my idea of fun. Mind you, it's almost worth a try, but not with my winter clothes. If I tried it, it would be with something that, that I wouldn't necessarily have a heart attack if they had a little, lunch in there. All right, so now the second thing I wanted to tell you, for those of you who know about the fact that I have a robotic cleaner that comes and cleans my house twice a week. His name's Clarence. And I thought you might be interested. Is anybody interested in what does Clarence pick up? I keep my floors looking like this most of the time. I walk around with my baby dust buster, and I pick up stuff, probably a couple of times a day. So it's not that sort of stuff. My floors look pretty clean. And you would think, well, it's hardly worth doing. So, yeah, well, apparently that's not true. My house is clean, people. And this is what Clarence picked up from inside my house and on my deck. Pretty amazing. And, it's amazing how much of it is hair. I would say, if you look at it, most of it, right, that's all dirt and dust and other stuff, most of it from the deck, I'm sure. But look at that. All that is hair. That's how much hair I drop. Oh, Jody's saying moths had lunch on Lionel's new winter coat from Land's End. Lionel being Jody's husband. It was only a year old. I was sick about it. I'm sure you were. And, it's about then, if you're normal, Jody, that you go, why didn't I put cedar into that cupboard, or mothballs or whatever. Did you do that to yourself? Beat up on yourself as to what you should have done. But, where is the hole? I found, I also had as a great sadness this week, Jody, just so you know you're not alone, if anybody else did. When I say a great sadness, but, something that's of sentimental value to me, one of my favorite December shirts has started to literally get get holes in it. You know, the seam at the bottom here, it started to get holes in it, which means it's just wearing through. You know, I've worn it so many times. And that made me quite sad because it's my favorite one. Wow. Jeannie's saying that she had a shopping tip, got a pair of kids' shoes at the dollar store with no price on it. The cashier seemed busy and gave me the shoes for nothing. My granddaughter loves them. Wow, that's called horseshoes. That goes under the subject title of horseshoes. All right, now then, this one was a bit surprising. I heard from one of my neighbors that whilst I was away, you know, I've got two completely different neighbors, right? There's one on this side that's so friendly and kind and generous, and then I've got the other one. Well, apparently, while I was away, the other one came onto my property and took wood from the property. I had some wood that was under my shed, and apparently during the time that I was away, she came and took it. Now, I wonder what you would all do about it, you know, if that happened to you. And I'm thinking, it would be really good if I could just forget about it and just go, hope it makes her happy. And there's another part of me that goes, I'm pretty sure if she has a go at me about anything, this is the one that, you know, was responsible for me losing my second shed. Anyway, I'm pretty certain that if she does anything this year, I'll be going, oh, by the way, that wood that one of the neighbors saw you take off my property, I wonder if you'd be good enough to return it. Seeing as we're having this conversation, let me have that one. And, you know, I don't know. We'll see. There really is, yeah, how do you set a boundary on that one, Jody? Jody's saying set the boundary. Well, I don't know how you set that boundary, except to let her know people saw you do that, honey. You know, if you're going to do it in the middle of the night. You know. What else will she or has she taken? I would, yeah. You know, but, you know, just warning her is not going to stop her. Do you know what I mean? A thief is a thief, right? And I might say that to her, you know, I had you pegged for a lot of things, but funny enough, not a thief. I'm so sad to hear that. And there's the other part of me that says seek first to understand. Jenny's saying, would she call you a liar? But you have proof. I have a witness. Yeah, in fact, that's how I know about it, because somebody saw you do it and let me know. In a community like this, that's what you know, it's like living in a small village, right? Everybody knows what everybody else is doing. So, okay, now then, here's... you know, but life is full of people like that, right? Who just think that they think that they are being smart because they don't think you'll ever find out. Wrong. And that is the whole point, I think, of life, is that don't do anything because there's always someone watching. Right? And that someone might be God, but there's always somebody watching. And in my view, karma has a wonderful way of catching up with you. I love this. Roy T. Bennett again said, when the going gets tough, put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. Don't give up. Well, I think, Jeannie, as you go into your final months before you return home, I think you deserve, you know, a medal for not giving up. You and York both. You've done nearly a year away from your home, and you are still sane and being polite and everything else. So here's the thing, Jeannie. This is one of those small little bits that you might run into in the coming weeks that I just ran into. And one of the things, as you may remember, that I found out was that they had replaced, they had not replaced, rather, the window coverings in my bedroom. What they had done is taken the window coverings from my craft room and put them in my bedroom. But then they didn't put any window coverings in the craft room. So I said, okay, I don't like those window coverings. They need to go back in the craft room. That's why they're there. They're those panel things that, you know, are very difficult to open. But I said, you know, in the bedroom, I'd like blackout curtains. Yeah, you know, because they would be covered by insurance, because the window coverings I had there were ruined in the fire, or rather when we were trying to get in and out, we had to pull them down to get in and out when the fire was going on. So when you look at it, it's just like, okay, that's what I like in there. It's blackout curtains. And I had blackout curtains in my temporary housing, and I loved them. I was, you know, I really just didn't even bother to open them. I just left my bedroom like that. Because when I went to bed, and it was dark and it was wonderful. And in the morning, if I slept in late, it was still dark. You know, the sun wasn't waking me up. So I thought that would be a really good thing, because the sun comes up on the side where I've got the big patio doors in my bedroom. So, you know, that was a really good idea. So they arrived this week. And they put them up, and when they finished putting them up, I wonder if I can, I've got a feeling I probably took a picture for you. Hang on, let me see. And they finished, yes, there we go. When they finished putting them up, this is what my blackout curtains look like. Now you can see the sun creeping through at the top, but, you know, and the bottom. And how about the gap in the center? And I'm going, no. See, and here it was again. Blackout curtains, people. What's wrong with that picture? So you gotta laugh, right? So I said to the guy that was doing it, aren't they meant to be blackout curtains? And he said, yes, they are. And I said, no, they're not. They're lit curtains. Oh, Erin, we just sent you thoughts and prayers, honey. All right, you enjoy your lunch. Hi, Mai. Good to see you. Or is it Mimi? I think it's Mimi. All right, so I said to the guys putting it up, what was it about the words blackout that was missing here? And then they were saying, no, that's how they're meant to go. And I went, no, they're not. They're meant to actually not have that wonderful little gap between them. And I don't know what's causing it. No, they all have that. I said, actually, no, that's not true. I know that's what you want me to believe, but I've just spent, 6 months with blackout curtains that don't have that gap in the middle. So I know it's not how they all end up. Just these two. So either there are not enough panels or something else is wrong. And then, bless his heart, he said to me, well, I have to go to the next job now. I can't stay here any longer. And I said, oh, be my guest. Right? Why? I knew I'd make a plan. I mean, pro tem, in the meantime, I could use paper clips, not paper clips, bulldog clips, or I could use clothes pegs, all those sort of things. So I'm going to get it fixed. So that one way or another. One thing I said, you see, because I'm a problem solver, right? I said, it's got like the two brackets on the ends, and there's one in the center. I said, what if you take the bracket off the center? Will there be enough to hold that weight? And he said, yes. And I said, then take that off and let's see. And it definitely did improve it. We were able to get them to close better. And maybe as I'm going to leave them for about a week to see if they maybe when they relax from being packed, they'll spread out a bit more in some way. We'll see, but that's a story that I'm still I'm still going to be working on. Firm, fair, and friendly. But and by the way, they even made marks on my ceiling, my freshly painted ceiling. And I said, before you go, no, ma'am, I have to go. And I said, no, before you go, sorry to delay you, but before you go, here's a wet cloth. Would you see if you can very softly wipe off those marks you made on my ceiling, or did you ding them? In which case they're going to need to be repainted. Take a moment and find out. And luckily, he was able to wipe them off. And I said, well done, now you can go. All right, and I wasn't nasty, I was just insistent. So Erin's saying, oh, I heard, thank you, and oh, I wanted to ask her about the prayers on the 21st. I'm going to have another ultrasound. Okay, Jody, let me know about that one, of my liver to check. All right, so you're checking for some cells. I know that must be scary for you. They check every 3 months. Wow, well, you know what I'm glad about, Erin, is that they do check every 3 months, right? Because that is going to be really important for you to keep an eye on that one. And I know you've been having, a lot of tests on your livers and so forth. So I'm glad to hear that they are testing. How about this one? Again, from Roy T. Bennett. You learn something valuable from all the significant events and people, but you never touch your true potential until you challenge yourself to go beyond your imposed limitations. I would think it would be fair to say, Jeannie, that in the past year, you have been pushed beyond your previous limitations in patience and in creativity. Would that be fair? Because losing everything in your house, your emotional intelligence must have been pushed beyond your previous limit. Because you're still sane. Most, how many people would never be able to recover from something as devastating as losing everything in their house, everything, and start all over again? It takes a certain mentality to be able to go, it is what it is, I need to start again, and not stay on the hamster wheel. The fact that you lost so many things that were of such emotional value. But Jeannie's saying, yes, lots of pushing, but I got stronger. Yeah. And that is the whole thing, is that, I believe that we get challenged for a reason. And the reason is because, we get to show that we're stronger than we thought we were. And challenge and adversity are meant to help you know who you are. Hit your weaknesses, but unlock your true strength. How about that? Pretty certain all of us have got stories of where we thought we were not very strong as people, but then were forced in a way to find out that we were stronger than we thought we were. All right, so here's the next one. How many of you remember that I bought that great little folding keyboard that was so useful for me when I'm doing things, when I'm lying in bed? The computer always is at the wrong angle. So now I can put the computer down, and then I've got the folding keyboard in front of me that I can just, type away, and the computer can be, just not on my knees. It's just somewhere else and I can see it, but I can type on my folding keyboard. Well, guess what? One of the letters now isn't working. This would be understandable if this was a year later, but it's only 2 months later. How many of you know, I was, it was like, really? In 2 months now, one of the keys is not working? That doesn't sound right. So what I did was was I hunted. This is the reason, by the way, to keep the box and the bits for a while after you buy something. What I did is I hunted down the box and I found it. And then inside I found all the information. And I've just written to them and said, hey, guys, this is what's happened. Certain it's not normal. Is there a workaround? That's what I decided to ask them. Is there a workaround? In other words, by the way, I took a screenshot of where it was delivered to me in February 19th, I believe, 18th or 19th. And so this is like, hey guys, I've only had it just over a month, really, 2 months. You know, this should not be happening. So is there a workaround? And if not, you know, they're going to have to replace it, I think. We'll see what they reply. Wow, Jeannie's saying, at a certain point, I needed more slacks. That's pants and trousers in England. It's amazing how many different words there are for a pair of these long things we wear. And I, you know, I have to speak all languages because, you know, we got viewers in all parts of the world. Anyway, so she bought them online and found 2 dresses for Easter that survived the fire by being in the basement. Way, there you go. I don't think I owned, you know, I do have 2 summer dresses. Those are the only dresses I have. Isn't that interesting? Well, it's interesting to me. So here you go. Jeannie, always believe in yourself and always stretch yourself beyond your limits. Your life is worth a lot more than you think because you are capable of accomplishing a lot more than you know. You have more potential than you think, but you will never know your full potential unless you keep challenging yourself and pushing beyond your self-imposed limits. I would think that's a pretty good quote to describe Jody, in my view. Now then, anybody struggle this week? I did. Let me move the rolling seasonal clothes container away. And you'll remember that last week I was struggling with this because I had managed to build it and put those long legs at the back instead of the front, but I didn't find that out until I put the pole on, and the pole could only go in one way. Therefore, when it went in, the legs were the wrong way around. So I had to dismantle all the legs and put them back together again, which actually didn't take me very long because, like everything in life, experience is a wonderful thing. And once you've done it once, you know, undoing it and putting back together again wasn't a big deal. I then managed to get the cute little table here on, and let me try and explain how this works. These brackets fit onto the back of your television set, and if you can see, it's got this little hooky G thing here. A hooky G, you know what a hooky G is? It's one of those. And a hooky G goes on there. All right, if you can imagine, I've got my computer, my television, and the whole thing clicks onto there, and then you do up these screws here. So, making sense, right? I was getting quite excited because I managed to get this high. This is the top, and this is all nice and secure. Now, all I've got to do is to attach these and put my television up. Oh, what fun. Right. That was the good news until I went to put those brackets on the back of my television set. Let me see if I took a picture to show you. Pretty sure I did. Because one of the ways that I cope with these things is I take pictures. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Can you see, this is where this bracket is meant to go into that screw, but it can't because of all those plugs down there. And those are the plugs for my Wii and for my Roku. Pretty important parts of my life. So what I am doing is writing to them and say, look, guys, this bracket wasn't made for my TV. Therefore, do you have the brackets that are made for it? If so, and the right screws, if so, please send them. If not, plan B is going to be required, because I agree, it actually is a very sturdy and exactly what I wanted, is to have my TV on here. And then if I was in the one part of my house, I could turn the TV and, and watch it when I was in my fireplace area. Or if I'm in my living room, I could turn it and have it face the living room. Or if I want to watch it in the kitchen, I can turn it, have it the other side of my big worktop here, and still, while I'm busy cooking, I can still use it. So the idea is exactly what I wanted. Okay. If I could get the television to connect. Now, plan C will be, if they can't do that, I might take the brackets and go find myself another television that I can connect to it, because, you can pick up a television for a fairly decent price these days. And then I will take this television and put it in my bedroom, which doesn't have a smart TV, but it could have. So that was a bit challenging. And I'm sort of playing with it in my mind as to, what needs to be done. And by the way, I've asked, I asked a man to look at it, because sometimes, it's just that you need another mind to look at it and see what's wrong. And he agreed to me there was no way that was ever going to go together, which made me feel a whole lot better. By the way, just while I think about it, did any of you have any feelings about the amount of shootings this week in the States? I mean, I want to just say it, because if we don't talk about it, I'm really scared that, again, nothing's going to change. And, it's like, how many lives do we have to lose for this to have something change? If we keep on doing, or rather, let me say, if you guys in the States keep on doing what you've always done, you're going to keep on losing people needlessly. So please, do something. And if you're saying, oh, well, I can't do anything, yeah, let your member of Congress know that you've had enough of this now. And it is well past time for something to happen on the mental health side, on the everything side. The way you deal with problems is not to pick up a gun and go and kill people. That is not the way you solve problems. Oh, and then, by the way, after you've caused murder and mayhem in so many lives that will be scarred forever, you then shoot yourself. Yeah, but yeah. I'm sorry. To me, that's not an answer. That is not anger management. That is anger out of control. And it's sick, literally. All right, Jenny's saying, struggling, and because the mother of York's adult children is very ill in hospital. He wants to be strong for them. And she seems to be getting worse. They are looking for a cemetery plot. Yeah, life, isn't it amazing, Jeannie, that life doesn't hand you one problem at a time, right? It's just when you think, wow, I'm just about juggling all these balls here, then in comes the next one. And the thing is that you can only deal with what you can deal with. Erin, there wasn't one shooting this week. There were two, I believe. There was a 13-year-old boy that was shot this week, and 8 people got gunned down at a FedEx facility in Pennsylvania, I think. Somebody help me if I got that wrong. Somebody is Jody. And that happened yesterday. A guy got upset about something and walked in and shot a few people. 8 people dead. It just makes me angry. All right, now here's another thing that got me a little tweaked, this week. I got a note from the insurance renovating people, and they said, just to let you know, the electrical guy needs to come in and recertify your house. In other words, that all the things need to be checked and certified that they are all up to code. All right. Now, why they didn't do that when the house was first done, I don't know. But they didn't. And there must have been a reason why they didn't, because they didn't think they needed it, I guess. But now the municipality has called for it, right? The local municipality has called for it. So I said, okay, fine. And yesterday, Dale, the electrician, came in to do that. Now, I know Dale because he was the guy that did everything. And he said, okay, I need to go through, and what I'm going to do is I've got to disconnect. I've got to take apart every single every single socket throughout the house. And then we need to turn he needs to turn the electricity off. And anyway, it went on, and I said, how long is that going to take? And he said, about 4 hours. And I don't know about you, but my reaction was, gee, that would have been nice to know. It would have been nice to know that it was going to be 3 or 4 hours worth of no electricity. And then I got over it. I got off the hamster wheel. It is what it is. That's what needs to happen. And then I gave thanks for the fact that I said, hold on, before you turn anything off, let me check. Let me check how much juice I've got in my cell phone. Let me check how much juice I've got in my tablet and in my computers. Because, I might need to plug everything in for half an hour just so that I've got enough to keep going. Anyway, the good news was it all went through with flying colors. But do you agree with me? That would have been nice to know, not that the guy was coming to recertify, but that could take 3 to 4 hours without electricity. Duh. That would have been a decent thing to do. What if I'd had a lunch planned or a dinner planned, and now I wasn't able to cook anything? Yeah, but they didn't. And, I think if I'd had a dinner planned or something, I would have said, then you need to come back another day. Because I wasn't warned that this was going to take that long. And I've got people coming for dinner. Or not people, we don't get that anymore, do we? Anyway, so the good news is it's all been double checked and recertified that I have a house electrically up to code. Yeah, Jody's saying the same thing. That's a good chunk of time. It's not 30 minutes. I thought maybe an hour, but 3 or 4 hours. And I must admit, he did a great job of minimizing the amount of time I was without power. And the other thing was, as I said, I immediately got off the hamster wheel and thought to myself, what have I got that I can continue to do stuff with in the meantime? However, one of the challenges was, I think I told you that when they rebuilt, they not only replaced the initial fire extinguisher, fire alarm, but put 2 more in, 1 in each bedroom as well. And part of the recertification of the house was they had to test all 3 fire alarms. Jeannie, I want to tell you, if possible, be out of the house when they do that. Because even though I knew it was going to happen, even though I was aware that it was just a test, I don't mind telling you that hearing those alarms go off just for those split seconds was a trigger. And the trigger was so bad, even though I tried very hard to control it, the trigger was bad enough that by an hour later, I had a ocular migraine. Ocular migraine is when my vision splits. And that, that's due to stress. And so, and I went, okay, I need to stop. I need to stop doing things. I need to relax. Why do I forget that my new fancy bed has got a massager in it? Why did I forget that? The clever thing would have been to go to my bed and let it just massage for, an hour. But no, I forgot. And by the way, and I have forgotten to use it at night. So that is part of what I now need to do, is to go, let me go and lie down and just let that massage work on me for an hour. That would be a really great idea. But Judy, I thought I'd just give you a heads up on that one. If possible, try not to be in the house when they do that one. It's not a good memory. By the way, just to follow up, I didn't do that in the follow-up section, but those of you who know about Yvonne and the fire that happened at my house that I used to own, just to let you know, she's doing fine. I've been talking to her every day about the cycle of loss and what happens with this fire thing, and she's doing fine every day. She's a little bit more relaxed, but again, to tell her, it's perfectly normal. Don't worry about it. It's perfectly normal what you're going through. You've been through an incredible shock, and you went through a possible life-threatening situation, and your body tells you that. It reminds you. And Jeannie will tell you the same thing. It's like you may be functioning, but boy, it doesn't mean that everything is okay. Am I right, Jeannie? All right, Jeannie is saying, at this time, there are people making our kitchen cabinets. The electrician will put in all the lighting, all the ceilings are painted. Oh, it's getting so close, isn't it? Margaret Thatcher, Prime Minister of England at one time, said, look at a day when you are supremely satisfied at the end. It's not a day when you lounge around and do nothing. It's a day that you've had everything to do and you've done it. Have you heard the expression, if you want something done, give it to a busy person? Right? Don't give it to somebody who's got nothing to do. If you want something done, give it to a busy person. And I want to tell you that, my days have been pretty full. They've been pretty full to the extent that I have been getting in close to 8,000 steps a day without even trying. All right. I've been somewhere in the 6 to 7 range, 1,000 steps a day. And so the reason why they say if you want something done, give it to a busy person, is a busy person hasn't got time to think a lot. A busy person just needs to get it done and out of the way. Yeah, I'll do it, but this is how I do it and get it out of the way. For example, I found that getting the TVs hooked up, there was method in that madness. What I wanted to do was get my Wii hooked up so that I could start. So that I could start, getting my steps topped up at the end of the day. All right, now then, I just want to, you just heard that. It's a 1 ring incoming call. Did you all hear that? The warning bells came on, but it was just 1 ring on my phone. All right, and then gone. Be aware that one ring and gone is nearly always a scam. And if you look at the telephone number, I hope that you all do this, that you then plug the telephone number into Google or something and see where does that prefix come from. Hi, Autumn and the babies. Where does that prefix come from? You know, the first 3 letters, 2 or 3 letters. What's that area code? Where does it come from? I found that for some reason in the last few days, I've been getting calls out of Serbia. You know, I don't know anybody in Serbia, people, nor do I particularly want to know anybody in Serbia that rings once and then puts the phone down. So you're wondering, why am I giving you a warning of a scam? What happens is that a lot of people will look at it and say, oh, I wonder who that was calling me, and then phone them back to find out. Don't do that. Because they've got this scam hooked up so that once you try and phone them back, international charges will apply, plus bits and pieces that they will make money out of the fact that you try and call them back. And you know, somebody even said, and if you do that, they can get into your phone and get all your information. I don't know if that's true. I found varying comments about that on Snopes. But what I want you to know is, if you get a call that is a one ring gone, check the area code. All right. And if the area code is, quite honestly, anybody who rings once and hangs up, I don't even bother to check the area code. However, it will come up on your call list. You know, let me see what it says on mine. I got a voicemail from somebody. So maybe that wasn't a one on and gone. Huh. Huh. Okay, guys, I just do this because it's from the electrician. And that is could be important. Hold on one second. I just need to get hold of my voicemail here. Just hold on, people. Okay, no messages. That's so. All right, but you get that one ring and gone. Don't even, definitely do not phone it back. All right, so let me go up. Oh, that's interesting. Erin's saying her cell phone says something like a likely scam when I get a number like that. And that's really nice. Mine doesn't do that. Oh, interesting. Jody's saying hers as well. Her screen turns red. I guess, you know, being in Canada, things are different, but it's good to know. All right, now I wanted to tell you that with, you know, my new routine is that I will unpack a minimum of 2 boxes a day. And I am doing that. I'm very proud of myself. I actually unpacked 4 boxes in the studio yesterday, as well as 2 other boxes. So I am pretty pleased with myself. However, my body is paying the price. My bones, particularly in my hips and knees, the joints are sore. All right. And I'm just trying to you know, be aware. You know, when I do a squat, I can feel the tendons, ligaments, whatever. They've been stretched, all right, and they don't like it very much. I've got almost sciatica in my. Okay, it's sort of between in the middle of your butt. Is there whatever that is there? That's not a good look for me. That profile, right? Anyway, that's where the pain is, and it's amazing. And so I'm pretty sure that I have used muscles that I haven't used for a while in doing that, but I'm getting there. I'm really proud of myself, what I've done. However, it is, do any of you relate to being a collector of material? I unpacked one box and the box is completely full of white material. And I know there are other boxes. I've got another one I know is completely filled with cream material. And I am pretty sure that I've got other boxes that have darker material. And I couldn't throw it away. I couldn't throw the white material away. Do any of you understand that? And I may go to my grave with a box of white material. And a few others as well. So I wondered if any of you are good about throwing away material, or where would you donate it to? Jody's saying a collector of material. I resemble that remark. Yes, I know you are, Jody, because I remember when you were going to the craft store, the fabric store, I said, are you like me, a collector of fabric? All right, so Erin's saying, I've got sciatica. It's awful. It goes all the way down my leg sometimes, and it's horrible. Are you talking about your tailbone? Nope, I'm not talking about my tailbone. I am talking, it's like mid-butt. I mean, all right, I don't know how to describe it. It is in there. Right, this is my waist. If you can imagine, I've got a waist. That's my waist, and this is like mid-butt in there. On both sides. And I'm pretty sure that it is muscular rather than joint, but I could be wrong. It might be joint, but it is sore. But I am not stopping what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure I've stretched muscles that are complaining. And now what I've got to do is keep using those muscles until it calms down. All right, area code 373, people. I have no idea who that is, but I'm not answering it because I'm broadcasting. And so, for those of you who understand this, I have decided I'm not going to throw it away this round, but when I get to the next round, it may have to go. I'm just getting myself primed to, I probably said that for the last 20 years. And I just want to know that I'm not the only one. Okay, so Jody's saying she also gets that sciatica. So where does the sciatica pain start? Is that in that area, or is it in your tailbone? Now, mine definitely isn't my tailbone. It's intermuscular somewhere. I think it's. I'm trying to think what causes it. Where is Moldova? Yeah, that's not local, is it? Mine did say Moldova. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you basically my challenge is I am sore, but I'll get over it. Anybody else sore this week from anything? That I'm here. It actually said Moldova, so it may also be in Illinois if you are in the States. Yeah, 373 is also in Illinois. Interesting. You know something? It was one thing and gone again. All right. So I don't answer those. So, and I also checked my voicemail to see if there were any messages, and there aren't. So definitely not worth dealing with. But I'm obviously on some scam list at the moment. My joy this week. Did anybody have any joy this week? Yeah, Erin says that she's sore, but then she's always sore. You know something, Erin? I know that you know this, but whenever I am sore or my muscles are not working properly, I think of you. And I think of what your life is like when you are, or Jody as well, is constantly in pain. And I think about how many things, you know, you guys manage to do in pain and all the rest of it. Okay, so sciatica is lower back, through the hips, butt, and can run through the leg, yes. And, you know, it's possible that I've tweaked something, but, you know, it's going to have to correct itself. I'm not overdoing it. I promise you that. Now, here's my joy for the week. You know, I've decided I am very easy to be simply amused. Let me show you why. Isn't that the prettiest tulip? And if you look very carefully at the bottom and at the top, you might not be able to see it, but, you know, also some hyacinths. I really like that. I was very amused by that. It gave me great joy. Okay, let me read what the viewers are telling me. Autumn is telling me your whole pelvis and muscles are interconnected. I have learned a lot of pelvic floor therapy. You mean I got to get on the floor? It's getting up again. That's my problem. All right. So Jody's saying the sciatic pain is from the seventh circle of hell. Yes. Thank you. Jeannie's saying, joy. My husband and I worked well together. Lately, we've been getting on each other's nerves, but not now. Yes, you know something, Jeannie, you're on your way home. You know, I know you're not quite there, but you are on your way home. And you will find that your spirits lift, you know, each day now. I found that when I knew a date when I was going home, when they actually gave me a date, that my mentality started to shift. Hi, Kimmy, good to see you. And so I got great joy out of seeing that little tulip come up. And, you know, this evening when I do the broadcast, I will show you more of the gardens, indoor and out. But, you know, it's these little things that give me joy. And I hope they give you joy as well in your life, that you remember, you know, that it's these little things that we need to feel the joy to make up for the challenges, right? And if we don't, then what will happen is we get bogged down. And so whenever I'm challenged, I go, okay, I need to go and find something that'll make me happy now. How many of you remember that I built a rotating composter? Did any of you remember me building that last summer? And I built it, never got a chance to use it because, you know, I ended up having the fire and so forth. But, you know, that's given me such pleasure because it's part of my exercise. I go to the composter, I take the scraps from the kitchen and I put them in the composter and shut the lid and then I roll it. You know, it's like it's resistance exercise is how I look at it. And I'm literally doing this as and you know, something, it's quite heavy to keep lifting it up and it's sort of like bend and stretch. And, you know, I'll do it a couple of times just for the exercise of it. Yes, Kimmy's asking if the stand here is my TV stand. Yes. When you get a chance, Kimmy, you can look at the rest of the broadcast and find out what the story is behind it. So, because you know there is a story. So I just look at it and go, yes, I'm in pain, but what can I do? All right. And that's the magical thing, I think. It's to know that everybody's way of dealing with it is different. Now, I had a really interesting thing happen, which is I had a little light that the TV, the fireplace area. I had a light there that I used, when I was working there. So, just to give me a bit of extra light. And boy, that thing, I went to turn it on and it didn't work. And I was so sad. And I thought, isn't that sad that it didn't work? That it's obviously got broken in the move and everything. And then being who I am, I don't know about you, but I'm constantly going, but what else? And I thought about it and I thought, yes, it could be broken, but what else? And then I thought, wait a minute, it's on an extension cord, what do you call it, a power bar. And so then I went to go and get something else and plugged it into the power bar to see, is the power bar working? And it wasn't. And I went, that's strange. Why isn't the power bar working? Yeah, it really helps if you plug it in. It works much better, I found out. Not only does it work much better when you plug it in, but the light works as well. There have been a lot of moments like that. And by the way, when I went to go to bed last night, I went to turn on my bedside light and that wasn't working. And guess what? He hadn't plugged that one back in again either, nor had he plugged in my bed. So you know who was crawling around on the floor. And Jody, I could hear you. Do not go crawling around on the floor, trying to get underneath stuff and plug things in without having your phone with you. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Jody, I hear you. The other thing I thought I'd let you know is another neighbor dropped by. It was the cutest thing. A neighbor who lives halfway down the community that I have met a couple of times. And funny enough, she was the one that helped me just after the fire when there was problem with oil. When they emptied my shed, they left oil near the road and that oil fell over and ended up going everywhere. And she actually was smart enough to go get some kitty litter. I wasn't here, of course, I was away. And she got kitty litter and put it everywhere and helped me do that. Anyway, she turned up at my door this week and said, how are you doing? And I was so touched by that. And I said, luckily I remembered her name. And I said, I am really, really delighted that you care enough to come and find out. Thank you. It's amazing how much people do care. And funny enough, she is not what I call a friendly person to look at. And I remember when she helped me with the oil problem, that when she had finished, I asked permission to give her a hug. And I think she looked at me like I had 3 heads and, 4 sets of feet. Sort of like, what? And I said, may I give you a hug? I'm just so thankful. And, that's what I did. And anyway, that same woman came back to make sure I was okay. And, my goal at the moment, as I'm certain you can all understand, is my feeling of achievement will be when I have unpacked enough that I am back to where I was before the fire hit. And that was not totally unpacked. I might be ahead of the game because I am not stopping now until every box in my studio is unpacked. That was a mistake I made last time. I didn't unpack the boxes in the studio because I had nowhere to put them. This time I made the unit and I'm literally making temporary storage places for things. I am really emptying every single box. And I've got the boxes on their side. So I've got, this box is all about electrical equipment for the computer. Boy, have I got a lot. And this box on its side is all about electrical equipment for around the house, things like extension cords and plugs and, power bars and all that sort of stuff goes into one box. So I'm trying to get a place for everything so I can see how much I've got. I have got 1.5 cubic feet of plastic bags. If you can believe it. 1.5 cubic feet of plastic bags of all sizes, everything from little baggies like this to dirty great contractor bags. And I'm amazed how much I've got. I guess I won't be buying plastic bags for a while. Now, Jeannie's become a stealth shopper, and she's telling us here, hang on a second, let me go back a bit. Whoops. Jeannie's saying, hold on. This morning we picked up a free fan with lights on Marketplace. I guess we were the first ones to answer the ad. Well done. Yeah, Jody's also, thank you, Jody. Jody's also saying she's found out that her iron apparently works beautifully if you plug it in. Yes. So do my lights, and so does my bed. But you understand, the guy was so meticulous, the electrician, literally we had to take the plugs out of every single socket. And then he had to take the covers off. And by the way, I've now got an added problem while I think about that, because when they painted, they did not paint underneath the socket, the covers. They painted around them. And now the covers have gone back and they're slightly skew. Guess what? All right. So I'm trying to keep really calm, and I know I've got extra paint, and I know that I'm probably going to have a year of trying to do that. But one thing at a time. I'm trying to take it just calmly and deal with it firm, fair, and friendly. I make a point of every day I go out and I go, what's the next step in tidying up the garden? And I just do something. Doesn't matter what it is, just one thing. What is the next step in tidying up the deck? And I'm about halfway through tidying up the deck. It's a big job, quite honestly. And then, what is the next step in tidying up the bedroom? You cannot believe the excitement I had this week when I could open up the second side of my closet. I've got a big closet, and it has barn doors on it. And up until now, I've only had the left-hand side that I could get into. This week, I was able to get enough boxes cleared that I could clear the second side and open it up. It was like I had a vacation. I was so excited. It was like, oh, I've got another side to the closet. And consequently, all that stuff that I've got, in those sorting boxes on my wall, I was able to get half of that stuff into the cupboard where it's meant to go. And as you know, I started to put, like winter clothes away now. Why? Because now I'm going to be able to put the winter clothes into that second closet. So, it's very exciting. You see, apparently I'm not the only one. Erin's now saying, this week I also found out that my phone charger works a lot better if you plug it in her phone and wait for it. And then plug it into the wall. Yeah. How come nobody told me that? Well, Erin, thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I talk about these things because I think it's important that we do laugh at ourselves, and not get angry. It's just like, oh, apparently it works a lot better if you plug it in. All right. So Jeannie's saying our crocuses came out in front of our home, far enough away from the fire to survive, behind a little fence. I bet you got such joy out of that, Jeannie. I'm amazed the things that have, come up in the garden. And by the way, you remember my lady gardener rose? It's got such nice leaves on it. It's obviously survived the winter very well. I was really worried about that because I didn't protect it at all. I just, all I did was I put a really heavy amount of dried leaves, packed it down to give it that protection at the root level, at the bulb level. And that seemed to did a great job. I think it's these stories that are important, right, Jeannie? That after a devastating loss, like losing your whole house, that you can get such joy out of seeing, boy, my snowdrops survived. And they're so pretty, aren't they? Or your crocuses survived. I'm looking at, I've got one lonely daffodil that sprung up that I can't remember seeing last year, but maybe somebody planted it or something planted it. But I've got this one daffodil and I'm going, I'm inclined not to plant daffodils because the rodents like them. But there it is. It's in my garden at the front there. And I've definitely got a lot of tulips that are coming up. That's going to be really pretty. And a word of advice, of course, if you are prepared, then you are now thinking about what do you want to have in your garden for summer. Because spring has sprung, the grass is riz. I wonder where the birdies is. It's like I literally have been now looking at what do I want to put in my garden this summer. Very exciting. That's a challenge. How about this one? When you are following your inner voice, doors tend to eventually open for you, even if they mostly slam at first. And I think about that and think, when people ask me how am I doing with the unpacking, I say to them, I think I'm about a month away from being as unpacked as I was before the fire. A month away. And that to me is pretty exciting if I can do that. All right. But this time I'm going to have everything in the house unpacked. I still have got a shed full of boxes. But if I am smart, I will then start bringing in boxes from the shed, maybe 2 a week, and go through them and try and get all those boxes halved and then back into the shed. And if I can do that, then I will have enough room to move around the shed fairly easily. Make sense? I've got this big shed. It is as wide as the house. And probably 10 feet wide. So it's as long as the house is wide. So it's quite big. And it's full of boxes and things that I really have probably forgotten about because they've been in there for over a year now. And that's my goal, is to now, when I finish unpacking everything inside, is to start unpacking the stuff in the shed. I can do this. And of course, I no longer have my garden shed. So now I am struggling with what am I going to do without a garden shed? And what I did, because I didn't have any choice at the time, was I put all my gardening things that were in the shed into, what do you call them? Dustbins, trash cans. And I've some of them got some water in them, and I'm just letting it all. It's a beautiful week here in southern British Columbia, and I'm letting everything just dry out, and then I will, sand it down if it's a bit rusty or whatever. But the main thing is most of it survived. All right, so Autumn's saying, I don't think we'll have time to plant a vegetable garden this year. Yeah, you're a little bit busy with twins this year. I think I would also give it an okay pass. I'm going to talk more about the vegetable garden and stuff this evening. Yes, Autumn, this year will be the year of sacrifices and joys, all right? Because the twins are your main concern now, right? We've had all this time. I'm actually not necessarily going to be doing a lot of planting in my vegetable garden either. I'm going to be doing it hydroponically rather than in the garden. That's my new game that I'm playing. Because what I'm trying to find out, and I started this question last year before the fire happened, but what I'm trying to find out is just how much lettuce do I go through in a week. And for example, this is Corey the cabbage, for those of you who remember when I planted him. But look at this. This is growing hydroponically. Look at the roots he's got on him. You see that? Isn't that amazing? And this is just in a little Tetra Pak. Now, here's the question. When I'm doing something like a stir fry, how many little baby leaves like this would I like in my stir fry? Or when I'm making a salad, all right, how many cabbage leaves do I want to just cut up and put in the salad as well? It's not that many. And how often? So what I'm trying to find out is how many of these baby cabbages do I need so that I can have fresh baby leaves whenever I want them. All right, and that's why I'm doing it hydroponically. And as you know, that cabbage came off the center part of a previous cabbage. Hang on a second. Hold on, guys, I gotta answer that. Hello? Yep, yes? I understand that I'm in the middle of doing a broadcast. What's wrong, Dale? Where would it be? I didn't see it there, but do you want to come by and look? No, I can just leave the center door open, in that center. Sorry? Hello? Yeah, I'll just leave that center door open. You're welcome to come in and look. I'll just carry on with my... Okay, you can come in. I just need to get back to my broadcast. You can come in. I just need to get back to the broadcast. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so where were we? Yes, I literally grew that cabbage from the base of one of those. And literally, as I finish this one, it's lasted me a month now, I will then put this in water and let the roots start to grow. And as soon as they do, I will cut it up and then create more of those little cabbages. Isn't it amazing? Sorry about that. Okay. So when you think about challenges, we feel really uncomfortable when we get challenged, right? It's, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like we don't want any more. Yeah, we've had enough already. And yet the truth is we will get as many challenges as we need because life goes on. It actually isn't keeping score. Um, Jody, are you saying that about the cabbage that it wanted to grow there? It definitely looks healthy, I must say that. And I'll talk more about that this evening, though, because it's, to me, it is all about a big experiment. It's not about pass and fail or how good or how bad am I. It's just like, I just love seeing what can I do and how much do I really need to be self-sufficient, right? So that I don't need to, oh, the daffodil, thanks, Jody. I want to know, what do I need to do so that I don't need to order fresh vegetables every week? How many tomato plants do I need? How many lettuces do I need? And I've got this incredible array of lettuces growing at the moment. And the reason that you see that area, no, other way, Sal. No, other way. This area is all reversed. So clear is because a lot of the things that were growing there are now in the nursery, which is my deck. And it's amazing how much I've got growing there at the moment, just already in just a couple of weeks. So very excited. It's a challenge, but it also is what keeps me calmed down, right? When I get these stress moments, I go, okay, it's time to go play on the deck, or it's time to go out and look at the tulips, or do whatever. I was saying that the rose that I got last year survived, and I'm really happy about that. And I really would like to get another one because it really was so magnificent. I'm hoping this year that my peonies will actually flower. They definitely are still alive, but will they flower this year? Because they didn't like the move. They didn't flower last year. So we'll see. Abigail Adams said, "These are the times in which a genius would like to live. It is not in the still calm of life or in the repose of the Pacific station that the great characters are formed. The habits of a vigorous mind are formed in contending with difficulties. Great necessity calls out great virtues. When the mind is raised and animated by scenes that engage the heart, then those qualities which would otherwise lay dormant wake up into life and form the character of the hero and the statesman." I sit there and realize, for example, that with the pain that I've got going on, that when I sit down on that futon, that the futon is too low now. If you take, this is my body, these are my legs, this is my hip to my knee. What's happening is on my futon, it's sort of at that angle. And so getting up is really difficult. And that the futon is too low. I need to raise it up. And so now it's a case of that's added expense that I hadn't expected, but it is true. And if I want to be comfortable and safe, I need to bring that futon up. And so what I'm thinking of doing is they make a folding type foam mattress, and it's in 3. And I'm thinking that would be absolutely perfect because, it would then bring up 9 inches, which I think would make a tremendous difference. And the main thing is I need to be comfortable. It's not about how will it look. I'll cover it anyway. It's got a futon cover on there anyway, but I need to be comfortable. That's my number one goal now. And so it's all challenging, right? How do I make this better for me? And I would encourage you all to think about that. How would I make this more comfortable for me? Whether it is your house, whether it is your bedroom, whether it is your bathroom, whatever it is, ask yourself, how would I make this more comfortable for me, and what would it take? And my question to you is, do you believe that you are worth it? Right? And I would like to say that the answer is, of course you are. And I think there is something in our lives that we have a feeling that we should not treat ourselves well. We, for some reason, believe we should treat everybody else well, but not ourselves. Isn't that weird? Do any of you know what I'm talking about here? That we seem to think that being comfortable or having the things, the gizmos that you need or want to play with, is a luxury. I don't think it is. I think what makes you happy is what you should be doing. And I say that because to me, it is really important to realize that life is short. And doing what makes you happy is okay because it makes you feel good. I am amazed how many times during the day I will find myself out on my deck, just pottering, sitting down and planting and replanting things. And I go, oh, I'm out on the deck again. So obviously my mind likes to be on the deck and just sitting there comfortably and getting my hands dirty and playing with things. My mind likes it. Why? I keep finding myself there. I keep finding myself tidying up a little bit more and, working out where am I going to create this and what am I going to do here? And, it's all beginning to fall into place. Jeannie, your task is bigger than mine in a lot of ways. But I want to tell you, just from my experience, there is something about having the kitchen where it is almost back to how it was. It's very close to how it was. Not quite yet, but very close. I'm beginning to remember where everything was, and moving it into the right place. It's just amazing, quite honestly. And all the stuff that's in the dining room isn't put away, but it's out so I can see what it is and work out where it was. But it's not a critical for me at the moment, right? It's getting everything else done is critical. That stuff can stay on the shelves. I can see what it is and if I want it. And it's not too untidy. The bit you're looking at is probably the most untidy, but doesn't worry me. So it's just like, okay. And by the way, just because the TV stand isn't working properly yet, doesn't mean that I can't watch TV. I have the TV on a chair and it's working perfectly. Surprise, surprise. The good news is I got great joy, even though I'm sore, I got great joy of being able to hook up the Wii and start using it again. And yesterday, for those of you who understand the Wii, I got such joy out of actually being able to just go, okay, how many steps have I done? And how many steps do I need to take me over 8,000 for the day? And I ended up doing over 9,000 steps yesterday. Why? I enjoy doing that stuff on the Wii. There's something about the simple round the island thing that I know it's only going to take 10 minutes. And then when I finish doing 10 minutes, I think I'll do another 10. And then, now I've done 20. I think I'll do another 10 and do the 30 minutes. That's another exciting thing. I forgot to make a note about that one. Guess what Dougie did? Those of you who know Dougie. Dougie sent me a coupon to enter into the Vancouver Marathon. And I can choose to do a 5K or a half marathon or a full marathon, and do it virtually. And bless his heart, because I just thought that was amazing that he sent me the coupon so that I could register and be part of it. And I said to him, I'm a little bit sore at the moment, and I just want to make sure that I don't have to do it all on one day. But I haven't registered yet because I'm not sure which one I want to do. There's part of me that goes, I have a feeling that you have the whole month to do it in which case, wouldn't it be wonderful to enter into the marathon and do a full marathon over the course of the month? Well, I can do that in a week if I'm feeling really good, which means I should be able to easily do it in a month. But, imagine if I can get a qualifying medal to say that, I did a full marathon, the Vancouver Marathon. What do you think? Am I being stupid? I also believe, and I'm a little bit shocked, I've been waiting because somewhere during the last week of moving from the one to the other, I lost my tape measure, my dressmaking tape measure, the one that I measure myself with. And I'm pretty sure that I have lost a couple of inches around my waist, which is interesting. Huh. I'm not sure that I have lost weight that much, but I have lost 3 pounds. Oh, I suppose that's something, isn't it? I've lost 3 pounds since I've been back. And I would like to say that a lot of this, if I'm correct that I've lost 2 inches on my waist, that is very encouraging. And I believe that a lot of this has to do with what we've been talking about on the Anderson plan, which is, find out what you can eat to get to the right calories that you're meant to eat and keep to it as a regimen. And I say this time and time again, every day I make myself this much bread. This is my bread dough for the day. All right. And this, I make it in one of these jars and mix it up. By tonight, it'll go into a baggie like this, and then it will stay in my fridge. So then what I do is I pull out my baggie of dough and I'll make that into one bread roll, which I allow myself every day. How I eat it is up to me. Quite honestly, normally I end up with it lasting me 2 days. Here are the ends of a bread roll. Here is the middle of yesterday's one. So I've got this much. I know that I can have this one for lunch, one slice. And this, if I really wanted to, I could toast up with some cheese and tomato and make mini pizza things, But that's what I allow myself, one bread roll a day. Okay. And then I know that I need to have one salad a day. And it's a big one. No, not a little bowl now. I have a big salad. And as you know, because we've been talking about that, I put all different leaves in it. I put butter lettuce, I put romaine lettuce, I put some mint leaves in it. I've got an assortment of different spring lettuces that are going in. I try to get that as varied as possible. I also put in some, finely cut up some cabbage and throw that in. And then I add all the bits, red peppers, yellow peppers, cucumbers, feta cheese, you name it, it all goes in there until I've got a pretty big thing of salad. And what I do is I keep that with me at the computer while I'm working. And just, you know, I'll have a little bit and then I'll put it down, and then I'll be doing stuff and then I'll just have a little bit and put it down. And, you know, and amazing, within an hour, I will have eaten the whole thing. I know that every day I can have 5 crackers. You know, I've got this sort of routine of what I know I can have, and it keeps my blood sugar under pretty good control. And I'm not taking medication for that. I'm just doing it that way. And then I thought I would show you tonight, if anybody's interested. I found an incredible way to make ice cream without sugar. And I thought I would demonstrate that tonight if anyone's interested. But for people who are trying not to eat too much sugar. But every night now, I now make myself some special ice cream. And it's so good. Jody, as somebody that's a diabetic, am I allowed to eat cream? Cream is a healthy fat, right? Hi, Sandy. Good to see you. Cream is a healthy fat, right? Because that's what I was thinking. That I've got 2 ways of making this ice cream, and one includes whipping cream, and one doesn't. But it's just like, I thought I should show you guys because, boy, it's decadent, you know, and it tastes so good. So every night now I make myself some of this ice cream. So I'll be doing a little demonstration of that tonight. So here we go. Challenges are what we all need to deal with. Right. Sandy's saying, oh, I've been eating heavy cream ice cream, coffee flavor. Yum. Yeah. I really am looking forward to showing you how I have learned to make this ice cream. It's just amazing. Wow. Jenny's saying joy. Joy is having the Dear Mama Sal family there for me. Yeah, and it's our joy to be here for you as well. And having my favorite ice cream place open for the summer. So for those of you who are thinking about this, that, you know, full cream is not as bad for you as everybody seems to think, right? It actually ends up being better for you than a lot of other things. Part of me wants to make butter. I don't know why. It's like it can't be that difficult. They did it a long time ago. They did it on my farm. When I think about it, you know, we did that on the farm. All right, so Sandy's saying that full whipping cream does have carbs, about 1 carb per tablespoon. I think I can handle that. Wow, my mother and my aunts adore ginger ice cream. I've never heard of ginger ice cream. I've got the ginger. I bet you that's tasty. But I bet you that I now know how to make some. Well, I'll show you tonight. How about this one? Amitre said that life throws challenges, and every challenge comes with rainbows and lights to conquer it. Wow. Sandy's saying, I put 4 tablespoons of whipping cream in my chia pudding. I never thought to do that. What a good idea. Guess what I'll be doing? Mandy Hale said, be a bit of a challenge, not because you're playing games, but because you realize you're worth the extra effort. Isaac Asimov said, it has been my philosophy of life that difficulties vanish when faced boldly. You know, Jeannie, when you realized that you suddenly were going to be homeless, how long did it take you to get off the hamster wheel and start making things happen? And that's what I'm interested in. How long did you panic for before you went, wait a minute, this is not helping. I need to do something. All right, interesting. Kimmy's saying, I wish I could eat ice cream, but the cold or the ingredients or both set off my asthma. That's interesting. Anything cold sets off my asthma. Isn't that interesting? I've never heard of that. That's why we learn things. I'm busy. I notice that I'm busy with my dough here. I'm obviously, but my body is ready for me to turn this into a bun and bake it. I think that's it. I'm just looking at everything else, but I wanted to talk about the indoor garden tonight, so that's something we can do there. Anybody else got anything else that they like to talk about quickly before we go? Oh, I did want to tell you one thing. By the way, I'm about to tell you something and you won't be able to unsee it once you've seen it, right? Now that I mention it, do you notice that there is a slightly lighter patch here? Right? Now that I mention it, you probably thought it was just lighting up until now. And the question is, why is it there? And the reason it is there is just before I went to go on to the to do the broadcast, something dropped on here. And one of the things that I learned from being on the road, you know, as a performer, is that what I did was I literally took some talcum powder and I rubbed it in there because I wasn't sure if it was grease or what it was. And then I took a brush and I just got the worst of it off with the brush. And then I took a white, and did that with it. And then I did the broadcast. And the funny thing is that, as I said, once you know that it's there, you won't be able to unsee it. But I just wanted to tell you that it is amazing how that is possible to do in a hurry. Oh, Kimmy had snow and so did Jody. Really? And we've got temperatures. Oh dear, I don't know what that is in America. Hang on a second. Let me find out. We've had summer temperatures here this week. We've had temperatures 77 degrees, 77, 80 degrees this week. You can believe it. It's been beautiful. Really beautiful day. Look how bright the kitchen is. And you've got snow. Oh, gee, I'm so sorry. But the rain will be coming back next week. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. And what I might do is see if I can do the broadcast with my phone this evening, just so I can walk you around and show you a couple of things out on the deck and so forth. It's still a mess out there, but I thought you might like to see some of the things I'm up to. We've had very high winds. It actually took my umbrella and turned it over, pushed it right over. And I noticed that my umbrella sprung a leak. It's got a big bottom on it that normally I fill up with water, and I put water in it and I noticed it's got a leak. And then I thought, something? I'm going to put earth in there, not water. Then it won't matter. Plan B. Normally it has water in there, but why don't I just put soil in there? And soil will keep it weighted down. It'll be good enough. And I'm not quite sure what happened with it in the winter. Soil will freeze the same as water does, so I don't know. We'll find out the hard way, right? Or maybe I just empty it. All right, everybody, we'll see you this evening. This is DearMamaSal saying, please remember that the challenges will continue. All right. We are not so special that we won't have challenges. And sometimes we don't know what the challenges are going to be. See them as stepping stones to whatever it is that your path is that you don't even know about. All right. And each one of these challenges teaches you stuff. And I want to say that even having the pain that I had this week taught me that I am not as invincible as I like to think. And that if I don't listen to my body and rest, then I will, I won't be fair to myself. Kimmy would like to see my paintings. They are still, okay, I've got some I could show you tonight. Not many. Most of them are still packed up. But I do have a couple of them that are unpacked. Sorry, I'm just looking around. All right, everybody, we'll see you tonight. This is DearMamaSal saying, remember the challenges are just challenges. Remember that life just doesn't go smoothly. It's not what it does. And what makes for incredibly calm people is that they know it just is what it is. And that panicking about things or getting angry and upset about things doesn't fix anything. The only way we fix things is to get off that emotional roller coaster and just go, excuse me, let me stop for a moment. This doesn't help. What do I need to do to help change this? Or do I need to just live with it? For example, right, the blackout curtains letting in light. I just stood there after the guys had gone and said, now what do I need to do to live with this for a while? And wait to see if when the curtains relax and get normal, will that make it different? And I just need to make a plan, and I can make a plan. That's who I am. I do that well. And when I suddenly found out that I was going to be without electricity for 4 hours when I wasn't expecting it, it's called, I can do that. I could have gone off shopping. I could have done 1,001 things, gone for a really long walk. Any of those things, it's not really the end of my life. It's just inconvenient. And it would have been nice to be able to plan around it, but I didn't get that opportunity. So this is DearMamaSal saying, accept the challenges and work with them. Have a great, great afternoon. I will see you tonight at 7. Love you dearly. See you then. Bye-bye for now.